take a ride with me. Welcome to my podcast. Call Wrestling Pedigree. It's the ROTZ Report. Wrestling Pedigree.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to a new episode of the ROTZ Report, along with Wrestling Pedigree. I'm your co-host, Matty. Along with me is the man, the best thing from Idaho, Christopher Ross. How are you, sir?
I am doing good, Maddie. It's good to be back here for another week of the Wrestling Pedigree's ROTZ Report. We have a lot of things to talk about in professional wrestling, and I am ready to talk to you guys all about wrestling that went on throughout the week. And always say yeah to NoDQ.com.
Gotta love the plug. This week we'll be talking about this past SmackDown, this past weekend with AEW All Out at Wrestlepalooza, and last night's Monday Night Raw. But before all that, there has been some breaking news in the past couple hours. On this Tuesday evening, is that at Crown Jewel, we will be getting AJ Styles versus John Cena. John Cena did go out on X and made it official. Made a comment that he wanted to challenge AJ because the fans wanted it. He tagged in Triple H, and AJ said yes, and then Triple H responded by saying, "Yep, it's all been confirmed, and we have this match in 3 weeks on Saturday." What is your view and what are you expecting for this match in 3 weeks at Perth?
Well, what I'm expecting at Crown Jewel in Perth on Saturday, October 11th, that will be streaming at 8 a.m. in the United States on the new ESPN app, and 5 o'clock Pacific time on the West Coast, and also be streaming on Netflix internationally. You guys are going to be in for a treat with both John Cena and AJ Styles. This is their 4th time battling each other out in one-on-one match. The very first match took place, I'm going to have to say the first match was at Money in the... Wait a minute. This started in 2016. So the first match was Money in the Bank 2016, where AJ Styles shocked the world. Then they had a second match at SummerSlam of 2016. AJ Styles defeated John Cena in that match. Then we had the Royal Rumble 2017, where John Cena became the 16-time world championship at the Royal Rumble 2017. And then we haven't even seen AJ Styles, John Cena one-on-one in a very long time. And now this is their 4th encounter. They're going to be putting on a banger of a match at Crown Jewel. It's still early to tell who's going to win this match, but when we do our Crown Jewel predictions, I will be revealing who I have. So right now, it's still early to tell who I have in their match on Saturday, October 11th. So, Maddie, what do you got to say about John Cena versus AJ Styles at Crown Jewel in Perth, Australia?
I found it's really, really surprising because I did not. He did hint that there's none of these kind of matches may not happen. It'll do the moves for them to have a tribute, but this came out of the blue because after what happened at Wrestlepalooza, and what we'll get into it with the review, but I think now they're thinking we just full guns ahead, get the fans what they want, and by God, it may have took 7 months, 8 months, but we got Cena and Styles in Perth, and I'm quite jealous of Perth crowd because they're really loud anyway, but they are going to sing a banger of a match, and it actually goes pretty well because Cena ain't scheduled to be on any Raws until Perth, so AJ can literally just promo it completely on Monday Night Raw until then. But it's a really good way, really good plus for WWE to go that way and creative. Um, so after that great match they've done it and a great start to Crown Jewel, let's go on to this past SmackDown, where I thought it was a good, decent SmackDown. What is your view on the ever so popular SmackDown this past week?
Well, SmackDown was a decent show. Brock Lesnar kicked off the show once again, and he basically destroyed Corey Graves by giving him 2 F5s. What did Corey Graves do to Brock Lesnar that Brock Lesnar didn't do to Corey Graves? But Corey
Interrupted
Graves was
him.
but Corey Graves was helping Michael Cole out. That was the only thing that he did. But Brock is Brock, and he wants to do whatever he wants to do. So, and personally, I'm not a big fan of Brock Lesnar, so I could care less. And then after that, we went on to the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match. Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair versus the Secret Hervits, Chelsea Green, and Alba Fire. Everybody's saying the whereabouts with Piper Nivens. Well, Piper Nivens is dealing with an injury that could end her career. So, best wishes to Piper Nivens. We will be praying. We'll be thinking of you from the wrestling pedigree. So hopefully you have a speedy recovery. Then it was expected that the women's tag team champions were going to retain and continue their run as champions. So we're going to have to find out what's going to be next for Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair moving forward. But we also got to talk about the banger of a match that I have seen, and it was a good match between Sami Zayn, Carmelo Hayes for the United States Championship. They put on a banger of a match, and I enjoyed it. I was on the edge of my seat, and I said, oh my gosh, is Carmelo Hayes going to get the championship? But he came up just short, and Sami Zayn won by a blue thunder bomb. So caps off to him. Sami Zayn is still going to be doing the United States Championship Open Challenge on possibly this Friday on SmackDown. So we're going to see who's going to be next in line to take on Sami Zayn for that United States Championship. And then we also had the Nia Jax promo saying that, oh, I want to be women's championship. I want that women's championship to be back on my shoulders again. Then Tiffany came out. Then Jay Cargill came out. Then it was chaotic from the start. Then Nick Aldis coming out and says, hey, you guys are going to be in a triple threat match happening this Friday on SmackDown, where we're going to get Tiffany Stratton, Nia Jax, Jay Cargill for the WWE Women's Championship. So that's going to be another good match. And the winner of that match will be taking on the WWE Women's World Champion, Stephanie Valkyr, at Crown Jewel for the Crown Jewel Women's Championship, where we're going to get the best of the best. And I'm just going to say it, Tiffany Stratton, she's going to retain the SmackDown Women's Champion, not the SmackDown Women's Champion, but the Women's Championship this coming Friday on SmackDown, so we could get the two rising stars that are in WWE today clash at Crown Jewel for the Crown Jewel Championship. Tiffany Stratton and Stephanie Valkyr. And then R-Truth, he kept on bringing superstars after superstar like Angel, Berto, the Motor City Machine Guns, and Ray Phoenix, telling people, oh, where can you sign up to get Wrestlepalooza? And R-Truth explaining, you could get it on the ESPN app and all the cable TV, whatever. I'm not going into much details with that. R-Truth was funny, and he was hilarious doing that segment. And then we went into the Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre contract signing. That was good. And we all know what happens every time there's a contract signing. It doesn't end good. And then they got into it, and Cody Rhodes were just flat out laying down. And that was starting to say, oh, is Drew McIntyre going to defeat Cody at Wrestlepalooza? And that was going to tell the story right off the bat. So that was my take on SmackDown. It was a decent show. Looking forward on this Friday's episode.
It was a very good show. It was a good go home show for Wrestlepalooza. I enjoyed the main event segment with the contract and the brawl happening. That was really good. But Carmelo versus Sami Zayn was an absolute banger. I loved that match. It was a really good match. I was surprised that Sami won by the Blue Thunder Bomb, but I like those kind of matches where you don't expect the finish. The tag team match, women's titles match, was really good. Some bits here and there that were a bit off, but I'm a massive fan of Flair and Bliss. But it was a really good SmackDown. I like the Bo Dallas showing up and causing trouble with Street Profits. So there's a lot to take on, and it's kind of bad where the two shows were better than the pay-per-view, which we'll go into now. But yeah, it was a really good SmackDown. So let's get into that. Let's go with the negatives first before the positive shows, in my opinion. Let's go with Wrestlepalooza. What is your take on what ESPN calls a C-rated show? What is your take on Wrestlepalooza?
Well, my take on Wrestlepalooza, I'm gonna say it. It was an all-right show, but I wish WWE would have just done better. And what I got from that is Triple H kept on hyping this up. Oh, it's going to be a good event. Expect a lot of surprises. And I was like, okay, what surprises are we getting? The first match, second match, third match, fourth match, fifth match, we did not have any surprises. So I feel from here on out, I'm going to keep my expectations at a low for now until I see something big that could spike up the pay-per-view even more. So I'm keeping everything at a low expectation moving forward. And personally, I'm always hyped for a WWE PLE and all the other PLEs out there for different companies. And I'd say, oh, it's going to be a good event. And it was just just an all right show. John Cena, Brock Lesnar. Unfortunately, I had John Cena, and then WWE decided, oh, we're gonna put Brock Lesnar as the victor over John Cena. And I'm not blaming John Cena for anything, because the reports coming out that it was John Cena's decision to lose to Brock Lesnar. So it sucks that Cena wanted to lose to Brock Lesnar, but Triple H, he makes the final decisions, and also creative makes the final decision, not John Cena. But if this is what John Cena wanted before the Wrestlepalooza match, then okay. So now John Cena lost at Wrestlepalooza. What is he going to be doing at Crown Jewel in Perth, where he takes on AJ Styles? So that's what we're going to have to look into, what we're going to have to just keep an eye out. And if Cena wins at Crown Jewel, then that'll be his 100th win. But if Cena doesn't win, and then if Cena doesn't win at Crown Jewel, then AJ Styles is going to get the win there. But the second match, we had the tag team match with the Usos and the Braun Brawns. I'm happy that the Braun Brawns got the win. And also, LA Knight, he was the special guest referee in the match. And when Adam Pearce announced, oh, you guys are going to get a special referee, LA Knight took that job. And I says, okay, is this where they're going to pull the trigger and have LA Knight turn heel? Because that's what I was always predicted last week. LA Knight goes heel. His character needs a change and in direction, and that's how they personally they should have pulled the trigger, but it didn't. The Braun Brawns got the win. So I'm gonna say this: we head towards Crown Jewel in Perth, Australia, and that is going to be the hometown of Bronson Reed. So what if they do the Braun Brawns versus Judgment Day for the tag team champion, and they could do the Braun Brawns winning the tag team titles in Crown Jewel in Perth. So hopefully they give the tag team titles to the Braun Brawns soon. The third match, Stephanie and Io, banger of a match. I really enjoyed it from top to bottom. We finally got the clean finish that we all deserve. Stephanie with the win, and it was her time. And I'm happy Io Sky passed the Women's World Championship to Stephanie Valkyrie as a passing of the torch. And I feel Monday Night Raw is going to be in good hands with Stephanie Valkyrie as Women's World Championship. I feel she's going to be having a lengthy reign that could potentially last all the way up until WrestleMania season. So that's where I'm seeing Stephanie's title reign going. Io, she didn't really need the Women's World Championship because of her ongoing storyline with the Kabuki Warriors and Rhea Ripley. So she didn't really need the title. But if she would have won the championship, it would not change the narrative of the story whatsoever. The mixed tag match, CM Punk, AJ Lee versus Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch. That was a good match. AJ Lee, she had ring rust in the beginning, but she did amazing in the ring anyway. So, and then Punk and AJ Lee got the win. AJ Lee did the Black Widow to Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch tapped out. And from there, I feel AJ Lee is going to be challenging Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. I could see that as soon as Crown Jewel in Perth. That's where I'm seeing that match take place for Seth Rollins and CM Punk moving forward. I feel Punk will get his World Championship match again. If I know it's probably not going to be Crown Jewel in Perth, so they can maybe do it at Survivor Series, or they might want to wait maybe on a Saturday night main event episode to do it, or maybe they could do it at Royal Rumble in 2026. Whenever they want to do the Punk Rollins match for the world title, they could go right ahead. The main event. But before I talk about the main event, we have to talk about Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch's look and what they came out to, their outfits. Their outfit just reminded me of a SpongeBob SquarePants episode. When I saw the purple, and I just said, "Oh my God, they are paying homage to the SpongeBob SquarePants episode." So thank you, Seth and Becky, for paying homage to SpongeBob. Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre. It was a good match overall. Cody got the win over Drew McIntyre. It was Cody Rhodes' first title defense, and Cody Rhodes, he's gonna be keeping that belt possibly all the way to WrestleMania. And I personally thought they're going to pull a trigger and have Randy Orton turn heel on Cody Rhodes to start their feud up. So possibly they're just waiting for the right time to pull that trigger on Randy Orton's heel turn, so then Randy Orton can go after the WWE Championship. And then on the post show, Cody Rhodes came out, and knowing later Seth freaking Rollins came out, and we're going to have, for the fourth time in their WWE careers, it's going to be the American Nightmare. Cody Rhodes will do battle against Seth freaking Rollins for the Crown Jewel Championship. So that's going to be another banger of a match at Crown Jewel in Perth. So that's my take on Wrestlepalooza. It was an all right show. Nothing big happened, but I do expect Crown Jewel in Perth to be a better show than Wrestlepalooza.
Oh, I totally agree. I thought Wrestlepalooza was like a half-rated Saturday night main event. The match, three of the five matches was good. I was not a fan of the first match of Brock versus Cena for the way it went. The tag team match with Usos and Bronze was good, apart from Jay's unfortunate head injury, which is crazy because it's one of those freak accidents that happens, and he passed the concussion stage, so obviously because of what happened on Raw. But after that, Stephanie versus Io was a proper banger. That was really good. Edge on my seat. I loved that match. The right person won, in my opinion. The AJ Lee and AJ's husband versus Becky Lynch and Seth was a proper banger. Love that. Longest match ever in AJ's career. It was really good, and I can't wait for what they do in Crown Jewel. And the main event was a bit lackluster, but it was still good, and a surprising win because I had Drew a little bit during that match to win. But all in all, Wrestlepalooza was overhyped and underwhelmed, but I overpromised. But they definitely made it up for it. On Monday Night Raw. So from Wrestlepalooza in Indianapolis to across the border in Toronto for 4 hours and 58 minutes and 22 seconds of AEW All Out. What was your take on that show?
Well, we got done with Indianapolis and then all the way to Toronto, Ontario, Canada. That's like a lot of jet lag right off the bat if we are on a plane.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to discuss about the first actually 4 matches that took place on the Tailgate Brawl. I did not watch the Tailgate Brawl whatsoever. The Ops defeating the Workhorsemen, that was a given. That was expected. And then Daniel Garcia defeating Shibata, that was a given because if Daniel Garcia would have lost, then why did you turn heel and go with the Death Riders anyways? Then we had Hologram and Paragon, Kyle Riley, and Roger Strong. They defeated the Frat House. That was given. That was expected. And then in the 8-women Tornado Tailgate Brawl match, I picked the heels to win, but with the baby faces getting the win, they possibly won the majority of some of the heels, some of the baby faces to win and say, oh my God, let's tune into AEW All Out to see what else happens on the show. And then we had the tag team match with Adam Copeland, Christian Cage. They defeated the FTR. That was a great match. We saw Beth Copeland, Edge's wife. I'm happy to see her in AEW, but eventually they got attacked by FTR and Nick Wayne and Kip Sabian. So I feel FTR is not going to be done with Adam Copeland and Christian Cage by far. So we're going to have to see how many more matches they're going to be having with one another. I'm happy with Eddie Kingston gaining his first win back in AEW. Unfortunately, he got attacked after the match by Big Bill and Brian Keefe, but eventually the lights going out and we saw the signal. Oh my gosh, there's an ace on the signal, and the ace represent Hook. So is Hook going to be going with Eddie Kingston? Moving forward, we're gonna have to see how those two do together. We're just gonna have to keep an eye out for Hook and Eddie Kingston moving forward. The table and tags match, that was a good, solid match. I had MJF winning, but Mark Briscoe, he got the win, and I think MJF is finally gonna go on his honeymoon. So hopefully, MJF, you have a great honeymoon. And when you get back from your honeymoon, maybe you can go after your Triple B, your AEW World Championship down the road. And I'm happy with myself that last week on the predictions, I said Ricochet and GOA was going to beat the Hurt Syndicate. They did. I'm happy they got the upset win over there. If the Hurt Syndicate would have won, I would expect them to build Bobby Lashley up for the AEW World Championship. But unfortunately, I feel they're going a different direction. And I think Ricochet is going to be next in line for the AEW World Championship. So hopefully that could happen. Mercedes Moné defeating Riho, that was giving. We know Mercedes Moné has creative control in AEW, so she could do whatever she wants to do. The three-way match for the Unified Championship was great. I picked Konosuke Takeshita winning, but unfortunately they went with Okada to retain. I do expect Okada to keep his championship all the way to the Continental Classic in December, and that's where I'm seeing Okada losing the Unified Championship in the Continental Classic. The coffin match, John Moxley gained a win. I'm happy that John defeated Darby Allin. Pac returned to AEW, so we're going to have to see what he does moving forward with the Death Riders. The fan four-way for the AEW Women's World Championship, I picked Chris Statlander, and she did. This has been well overdue for Chris Statlander to be AEW Women's World Championship. She pinned Toni Storm clean. We're just gonna have to see what Chris Statlander do as championship. I'm expecting her to have a good run with the championship, so let's just pray and hope she has a good title run. The fair four-way ladder match for the AEW World Tag Team titles. I thought Young Bucks was gonna win because they were bum bucks. Then to money, they got the money last week, and I thought they were gonna be championship buck, but Brodito retaining. I'm not really thrilled about that, but hey, they wanted Tony Khan wanted to keep them as champion. Go with that. But after the match, the Young Bucks saw a returning Jack Perry and the lights going out, and Kill Switch came out of nowhere, and he just annihilated the Young Bucks. And knowing later, Jack Perry told Kill Switch to take off that belt, throw it away, and we finally got Jurassic Express back together as a tag team, Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. I'm happy that they're back together. So hopefully I see tag team championship gold in their future. And then the main event, Hangman Adam Page defeating Kyle Fletcher. I'm happy with Hangman getting the win, keeping his title belt. And what I alluded to, I think Ricochet is going to be next in line to challenge Hangman Adam Page for the World Championship.
That's not a bad shout. That's definitely not a bad shout. I started watching I missed the opening because of work, but I watched the 10 matches that were on the main show. And then I switched over to Wrestlepalooza, unfortunately. I saw the beginning. I'm a massive fan, and people who know me know this, but I'm a massive fan of Trailer Park Boys. And to see Bubbles there was freaking awesome. I love it. And it was a really good start. That got me going to see Bubbles and then the Green Bastard from Parks Unknown. I love that. That was a brilliant opening. The fuck it, I say Edgy Christian versus FTR was a really good match. Interesting ending. I can see they're adding more shows to this Wrestle Dream. But it's nice to see Beth Phoenix back. on Wrestling TV. Sorry, we have a comment here for you. The Green Bastard. And someone agrees with you, Rox. I see gold in Jurassic Express Future 2, Roxy. That's from our Steve. So, apart from that, Eddie Keith's match was pretty good, in my opinion. I love Eddie. It's good to see him back. I'm happy where he's going to go with Hook. The tag team title match was really good. I had Jet Speed, but yeah, it was a really good match, and I love what happened after. I popped when Jurassic Express reunited and that song Tarzan Boy comes on. As soon as Tarzan Boy comes on, I'm whoa, whoa, whoa. That's me gone. Mercedes Moné winning is even Stevie Wonder could see that was going to win. There's some great matches on that card that it was so many that you can't really think of. But the main event with Carl Fletcher and Hangman Page was unbelievable. Became a massive fan of Carl Fletcher in that match, and I cannot wait to see what he does next, and to see who will face Hangman Page at Wrestle Dream. And fair play to Darby Allin for trying to set fire to John Moxley, because that's one of the craziest spots I saw in that match. Well, in that show. So also a great show. I like ESPN give Wrestlepalooza a C grade for that. I would give AEW a B plus because it was a really good show. From a really good show to a really good show, because my God, didn't WWE go all, like, no pun intended, all out on Monday Night Raw last night? Before we go on to Roxy's, I'll give you mine. Good promo with Cody and Seth. I like the build up to Crown Jewel in 3 weeks. I really liked the 6-man no DQ match with Penta and War Raiders versus New Day and Big G. Great spots in there. Some comedy, but some violence. Really good. Craziest Mexican destroyer I've seen in WWE from Penta. Good build up with LA Knight and Jey Uso and Jimmy and Division, where that's going to go next week in their tornado tag. But the main event, Oscar versus Rhea Ripley, was a phenomenal match. I love that match. I love the storytelling in that match. I love the brutality in that match. And I'm a sucker for storytelling, but that ending, especially Carrie Sane's emotional way she's done everything throughout that segment, was crazily brilliant. And much credit goes to her. But we are going to get a Kabuki Warriors versus Io and Rhea very soon. And also, before we go on your rocks, Bailey's switching of personalities is also brilliant, and definitely needs attention on that, because that was crazy. What she went from hugger to idiot in the space of 1 minute is crazy, but phenomenal show. Better than Wrestlepalooza, and hopefully they'll keep that momentum going on. But what says you in Monday Night Raw from last night?
Well, last night's Monday Night Raw, it was a decent, it was good show. I like the build to Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes for Crown Jewel in Perth. They're gonna have a good match, between Cody and Seth. I do expect that match to probably main event the show. Will Cody win his second Crown Jewel championship, or is Seth Rollins finally going to get a win over Cody Rhodes? I'm going to say this right off the bat. I know we're not doing predictions now for Crown Jewel, but I'm going to say it. I'm making an early prediction right here, right now. I have a gut feeling Seth freaking Rollins will be defeating Cody Rhodes at Crown Jewel. I have Seth Rollins at Crown Jewel. He'll finally beat Cody Rhodes once and for all. And then we had the 6-man tornado tag team match. That was a fun match with Penta, the War Raiders, New Day, Big G. It was a fun match to watch. And at the end, Penta give Big G the Mexican Destroyer. And every time I see Penta doing a Mexican Destroyer, I pop so hard. And because I really enjoy Penta, and I'm going to keep saying this, Penta is taking WWE by storm. And then we had the promo with Stephanie Valkyr. Want to thank everybody for her support winning the Women's World Championship. We saw her dad in the arena last night. So congratulations to Stephanie Valkyr as Women's World Champion. Then Bayley versus Roxanne Perez. That was a good match. Bayley gained the win over Roxanne. And then Lyra Valkyria were celebrating with Bayley. And then Bayley just went into 360 and basically yelling at Lyra Valkyria. Bayley, you asked Lyra Valkyria to be in her corner, and knowing later you're going at a 360 rate and yelling at Lyra. So we're going to have to see what they do with Bayley, with her being good to being angry. So I don't know what they're going to do, but we're going to keep an eye out for Bayley moving forward. And then also we had JD Madonna versus Rusev. Happy that Rusev got the win. And then we're heading towards next week with the Intercontinental Championship match with Rusev and Dominic Mysterio. I'm going out with the limb, and I'm going to say Dominic Mysterio, he did a good job as Intercontinental Championship. I wish they could have booked him properly. So I'm going out of the limb, and I'm going to say Rusev will become the new Intercontinental Championship next week. So then Dominic can worry about being the AAA Mega Championship. And we can start in the era of Rusev once again as champion. Then we had the main event, Rhea Ripley, Asuka. That was a good match. Happy Rhea Ripley snuck out the victory. But at the end, the Kabuki Warriors turned heel and they attacked Rhea Ripley. Asuka spinning in Rhea's face with the mist. that what she did, and I saw pictures of Rhea Ripley with the Miz, it didn't look good at all. So, and then Io Sky coming out and want to make peace with everybody, but eventually Asuka and Kairi turn their backs on Io Sky. And now we're finally going to get the Kabuki Warriors as heels. And where I see this going to is Crown Jewel and Perth, where we get the Kabuki Warriors versus Rhea Ripley and Io Sky in a tag team match. So if that match does take place at Crown Jewel, it's going to be a good match between those teams. But overall, Raw was good. And we're looking forward to Monday Night Raw next week with Dominic and Rusev, Bailey and Raquel Rodriguez, the Usos and Braun Bronze in a Wrestlepalooza rematch. And programming note for next week's Monday Night Raw will begin at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, 4 o'clock Pacific on the West Coast, streaming live on Netflix.
Oh, absolutely, and it'll be midnight in the UK on Netflix also. But before we go, what is your, because obviously we're on Thursday or Friday, we're going to do the review of NXT, AEW, and our predictions for this weekend's wrestling. What is your idea of what may happen tonight on NXT?
Well, what I'm thinking on what we're going to see tonight on NXT, we have Candice LeRae going up against Laney Reed, where it would be a speed finals, and whoever wins that is going on to take on Sol Ruka for the speed championship this Saturday at No Mercy. I do expect Sol Ruka to lose the speed championship this Saturday, and she can just focus on the North American Championship. We get Miles Bourne, Lexis King in a lights out match. And then we get Obafemi, Trick Williams, winner take all. I don't think it's going to be a winner take all match because we're going to be seeing some interference with the TNA roster. And I think TNA will be invading NXT tonight because of TNA stars. They did not get the invitation to come at NXT Homecoming last week. So they're upset with that. And it's going to lead into NXT versus TNA at a premium live event. So that's where I'm seeing it. And I think we're getting NXT versus TNA. You can do a men's and a women's War Games match. You bring that back to NXT and have NXT versus TNA in War Games. So we're just going to have to see how this invasion angle is going to be, when they're going to be announcing the PLE for NXT versus TNA. So we're just going to have to keep an eye out on what goes down. But I do feel tonight is the night that they're going to start the NXT TNA invasion. And we're just going to have to see where it goes from here. And my question is to you, Maddie, what do you think we're going to be seeing tonight on NXT?
Oh, we're going to see TNA cross the line, no pun intended, cross the line and invade NXT. There's so many from social media that are scheduled to be there, from Moose, Santana, and the rest. I feel it's going to be quite like, I don't know if you can remember this. Do you remember when it was Kurt Angle and Shane McMahon? Were they were feuding for between Raw and SmackDown?
Was
This
that
got
in 2002?
no. This is about 2018 when Shane was the commissioner and
Yeah,
of SmackDown.
I remember that.
I feel that's gonna have the same build. That's gonna have the same build. Feel is gonna be phenomenal. Where you don't know who is going to turn up, and then you have to tune in on Thursday to watch TNA because you don't know from NXT who's going to turn up on TNA. So it is amazingly worked out well for both brands, and I cannot wait for tonight. I mean, we're how this is recording is we got 40 minutes left, but to get there, but it's gonna be bloody awesome. Guess what?
And you're talking about TNA stars showing up to NXT stars tonight. We totally forgot to name this one superstar that is going to appear, and he will appear if you just say his name and he appears. So, who is that guy I'm thinking of? Oh, yeah, Joe Hendry.
Absolutely, and he will be an NXT wrestler by January, so he will show up. The only person that won't probably fight TNA will be Jordan Grace, but if anytime you mention his name, he will appear, and I'm be very interested in what stuff he comes out with today. Is it going to be for a wall? Is it going to be for like out of a fridge? Who knows? Um, and fair play to Joe Hendry because he's ranked number 12 in the PWI 500 that's been released today. I had my copy come through, and there are some high debates where we'll get into that on Thursday or Friday show. But yeah, there is a very good intake on there. But once again, another great show. ROTZ, where can people find you, sir?
Well, we have completed another episode of the ROTZ Report on Wrestling Pedigree. Where you guys could find me at is on my Instagram, CMROTZ underscore 1316. My Facebook is Christopher Rotz. My X is CRotz24. You can find me on all those social media. Just hit me up. I'm always down on making friends. I'm always down on talking to you guys about sports. We could talk about music, TV shows, movies, video games. We could talk about anything. We could talk about life. Whatever you guys want to talk about, I'm open ears. Just hit me up and we'll have a conversation. And if the conversation goes well, we'll build a friendship upon that. You just hit me up on those social media. You can find me on every wrestling prediction league out there with MWL, Wrestling Renegades with Sean Bowley. You could find me on No DQ, doing Simply Predicting with Noah Foster, JJ Renegades, Walter Cruz. You can find me on there. You can find me on everything. So just hit me up and we'll have a good time. And always cherish life. Take life day by day. Just think positive in America, and always just be positive. Don't worry about the negatives, and always be safe, be careful, and just enjoy life to the fullest.
I totally agree on that. Thank you, Ross. You can find Wrestling Pedigree on Facebook with Wrestling Pedigree. You can find me on Twitter on Matty W freaking A. You can find Wrestling Pedigree on Instagram and this show on YouTube. Wrestling Pedigree 92. We are available on all YouTube, all podcast outlets, and on all our shows will be on YouTube. And we are always looking for new people to come on and have a laugh and enjoy talking about wrestling, whether it's on the ROTZ Report or on Wrestling Pedigree. On the other show with me and Steve, we're always looking for just banter and have a laugh with fellow wrestling fans. So just hit me and Rox a message and we'll get you on here. But a crazy weekend in professional wrestling, a crazy week ahead in professional wrestling, and you guys got to listen to me and Rox describe about it, talk about it, and just enjoy it. So once again, thank you, Rox, for churning up and showing your wisdom, Mr. Encyclopedia. And thank you for everyone that's watching. Please leave a review if you're on YouTube and on your on the podcast outlet. And we'll see you in the next couple of days. So enjoy wrestling, enjoy life, and look after each other because we're a community. Enjoy wrestling.